Ha! I got you again, you sneaky little guy. You thought I was gonna have another stinky, poofy opinion on a bad movie or show. Yeah. I think we just got to the intro. So, Star Wars. We're back on this space wizard adventure full of apartheid and gender inequality. Now, Star Wars is like a lost media to me. I've talked about how it actually has shaped me as a person multiple times that I rarely talk about it recently. I mean, the last time I've mentioned Star Wars was back in I think February in a video about reviewing every movies and shows that I missed back in 2023. And one of those is an anime series titled Star Wars Vision Season 2. And if you're curious, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Really shows the kind of person I am. Now fast forward to August, the month of the Indonesian independence, I'm going to talk about a show that came out back in July. So in July, Star Wars released a series titled The Acolyte, a series that's boiling the stew of internet once again due to some things I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to be seen as a rambling idiot since I've joined the Discord server of The Closer Look and my god, the people there really hate figures like Critical Drinker. So, The Acolyte is about a group of Jedi on an espionage mission to dismantle a Sith uprising happening behind the backs of their society. And the trailer is fine. I mean, after all, the trailer is how you bait people to watch your final product. You have to make it appear to be good. So, I watched the first episode, then the second, and then I watched all 8 episodes. The Acolyte follows a charismatic Jedi Padawan named Osha who just reunited with her Jedi Master, the kind and loving Soul. However, at the same time, her evil twin sister May, with the help of the Sith, was plotting assassinations on the Jedis and hoping to hold the Jedi Council accountable, the same council that tries to de-escalate the political sphere. Alright, so far it's not a bad concept, there's no overlapping of theme or anything, so let's move on to the pacing. The pacing of the show is, and I'll say it in the most NPC way, really good. The pacing had this rush ambience like the Jedi need to do something before this whole killing thing escalates to the political spectrum and could possibly start a war. So these characters, they went Tom and Jerry, trying to gather as much forces as possible to stop the Sith while also trying not to blow this case to the public eye or even worse. The first 2 episodes at least was a bit consistent. The first episode introduces characters from different places and how they came together, the troubles, and what's about to come in the next episode. The second episode shows us about the capability of the characters on how they would handle the coming troubles, while also giving us a brief look into the perspective of the villains. And then the next few episodes to the 8, it is just a roller coaster of open world RPG of Star Wars with proper character developments from way too many characters properly compressed into bit sizes that actually immerse you into their worldview and understand them a bit deeper. So the concept of the Acolyte is perfect, the pacing is great, the execution however is not. Why do you think I'm making this video? So the first issue to be brought up is that there's either some sort of lazy writing or just people who are not good at writing and they don't know what the fuck are they doing. First example is multiple instances of so many great moments like a fight scene. To give a huge appreciation, every fight is very well choreographed. There's actual visible stakes, people get hurt really bad. But as to how that came to be and how it concluded is just so lazy and sometimes baits the audience for spectacle. Look at the opening fight in episode 1. Here we have a fight between May and a bunch of thugs. Then she fought the Jedi Master Indara. We see May is just an amateur. She's struggling and screaming, while Indara is being humble. She didn't pull her lightsaber and knows how to assess the situation. But in the end, May managed to kill her, like literally. This is a great introduction to the plot, but as to how that happened, well, May was in disguise because she wants to assassinate Indara while not blowing the case. But she is not well covered. We can see her hair, her skin color, and then the fight took place in a public space in a restaurant with lots of eyewitnesses. And because a consequence needs to exist, the writer panicked. So later in the episode, the Jedi quickly caught the suspect because the witness told them like, so she's a black 5'10" woman in her 20s, she also wears a wig that looked like it was made in downtown Paris. And then to the end of the episode, there was a grand reveal of Osha finding out that May is planning to do more killings. And did we know this from like a detective work or something similar? Nope, we know this from a dream sequence that tells you exactly what it is. This is an occurring theme that went on for so many times, I genuinely lost count due to the severe vertigo I've endured personally. I'll mention some more examples that's crucial to the plot. In episode 2, we're introduced to the perspective of the villain, May. Now we get to spend more time with. The next Jedi she needs to kill is quite odd. This guy is another Jedi Master named Torbin, and he has encased himself in a force field and hasn't caught up for years. Meaning May's job just got a lot harder. She needs to do something she couldn't. And thanks to the miracle of lazy writing, she handed him a poison drink and goes, "If you don't drink this, you're gay." I do like when a scene was going so well, it has to be ruined. Fast forward to the end again, Osha finally met May and is ready to shoot her, and she missed, not because she's frustrated, but I don't know. Like, it's so wasted because right before that, you have like genuine character moments where Osha is planning to kill May because of a past incident where she starts a fire that leads to the demise of her entire family. But Sol refuses and even gets in the way because he still has sympathy for her.
I do not need your permission to go out there and confront her.
You want revenge. Look what revenge has done to your sister. I couldn't save her when you were children. Let me try now.
It shows characters' real form when pushed to the edge, while Osha just lost it, which explains why she was thrown out of the Jedi Temple and never become a Jedi. Sol knows how to keep his composure. Even in hard times, when him and May finally fought, Sol doesn't even once leave a hand on her, and when he finally put her down, he still wants to talk to her. There's so much depth and meaningful moments, but it got covered with dumb altercations like these that ruins it. Because the show is written by writers that just focus on cool moments without any rationale, in episode 3, they decided to reveal everything and dig into the origin of the whole conflict, which is the childhood of Osha and May. And it went as you'd expect from what I've told you before. And the point of this episode is to make you sympathize or at least understand Osha, May, and their parents from what happened during the incident. So the writer thought, we could see Osha and May doing some gardening, playing around in a green field, doing lessons in kindergarten, anything sweet. But you see, that's lame. What would be cool or epic is if we made them doing black magic, see? So you know that meme scene of the power of many? That is, I kid you not, the day-to-day activities for Osha and May's parents and the other inhabitants in the village. And most of the conversation as well is so fucking basic and tasteless. There's no substance that makes it authentic.
I share everything with you, and you hide things from me or run off alone. I want to have my own thing. Don't you wonder what could be out there besides Brendock? Everything I need is here.
And I even feel so uncomfortable whenever any of these characters open their mouth because it feels like they just want to be in your face and give a personal lecture about why black magic is okay. And then further deep into the episode, there's Sol's first encounter with Osha, and boy does it get creepy from the fact that he just wants to take her right away without any logical explanation. A classic trap when you just want to justify a character's relationship so bad. So yeah, the only valid info we got is that it further May's point of view more. Like, now we know why she specifically targets the Jedis that were present when the incident happened. In fact, she believes that these Jedis were actually the ones who's responsible for the death of her parents. The same rhetoric of an episode only filled with blank is unfortunately an ongoing recurrence after episode 3. It's either people walking in a very slow pace uninterrupted without any hardships, or just elongated conversations between different characters for longer than the average people smokes in my area. And on top of that, whenever there's little action scenes, it went so dumb, like one of the minions of the good guys ends up helping the bad guys for no reason, and then the Sith Lord was flirting. Eventually, the story ends up with a revelation that the Jedis were bad and Osha was deeply heartbroken and mad, and she decides to choke Sol to death and for some reason grieves with May like, "May, you're right, let's live happily ever after." So the writer concludes it like it's a happy ending. So it's clear that the Acolyte is a story about fallen heroes. The person everyone look up to or expected to be good ends up in a position exactly the opposite. It's the same kind of pacing from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. You know, Anakin, the chosen one, the one who will bring balance to the Force, ends up with the Sith. And I'm surprised not a lot of people see this as a good thing, because even though it does open more possibilities for more character developments, seeing them being pushed further and further to the edge, it can also work for understanding from the perspective of the evil Sith and how they get there in the first place. There's at least a logical reason as to how Osha become evil, and I even actually prefer Osha's story more than Anakin. As Anakin comes from a privileged background, he was a good slave, and the Jedi Council viewed him as the chosen one, while Osha was a thrown-up. She was born in an isolated society away from any civilization, and remember, she got kicked out of the Jedi Temple due to her incompetency. And after that, she worked as a low-life freelance worker. And the only reason why she got back with the Jedi is precisely because of a case about her twin May. I mean, she even admits with her friends that, hey, I got to go to my job because now we solved the case. And that's another reason why I like Osha, because of her personality. She's humble sometimes, patient, and doesn't want to be on the spotlight. She's understandable and has soft spot for everyone she cares for, including Soul, and she's willing to step in and protect them if they're threatened. She doesn't desire much as she's never got any kind of special treatment, so let's be honest, she's someone most of us can relate to. So I was shocked to see her transition into a Sith and kill him because of an understandable motives of finding out that the Jedi, specifically Soul himself, was the reason why her parents died. I mean, sure, her mother turns into a fucking yokai, which is why Soul had to stab her, but you still get her frustration. And that doesn't mean the Jedis were all bad, like the show also do Jedi Masters some justice, like about them being pushed to the edge like Soul. When the Sith Lord just easily killed all of his friends, he got really mad and just started going hand in hand, like you never see a Jedi act like that, but you understand his frustration. And he even had a moment of grief for a second. Especially after that turning point, Soul started to show genuine emotions because at that point, he has lost everything. And even in the harshest condition where he has to go back to the very place where he killed Osha's mother. He is old and wise, but at that point, it is just too much and he's trying to hold everything together while hiding an ugly truth that he doesn't know could break loose and eventually catch on to him. On top of the storyline, another letdown is that it's very convoluted, because it focuses on two themes of rivalry between good/bad and a black magic called the Virgins. You also just can't take things seriously whenever Soul was trying to reason with Osha or May and he just has to go, but I have to prove the Virgins to the Jedi Council. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? The clear shift of objectives is so appalling that it made the story even more frustrating to hear. Like an aspiring protagonist wanting to be the universe's greatest hero, but along the way, the very people she looked up to turns out to be not what she expected, that she felt heartbroken because of it and decides to side with the enemy, is a pretty unique and interesting set of story, and it would be way cooler that in Revenge, the protagonist killed the very specific individual that she looked up to, and hey, that happened. But it sucks that it has to be done dirty by basic and tasteless dialogues, dumb altercations, stupid justifications for cool moments, that if I ever wrote something like this, I would just hid it in my basement and never see not just the light of day, but also oxygen itself. I mean, that turning point where Soul's colleagues dies, well, even though they played a pivotal role up until their demise, that moment I was just shocked, not emotionally, because they are so flat and uninterested, and most of their characters' moments were just stupid gag like this, which is why I never talk about them until now. And it's even more frustrating that one of them was played by Daphne Keane. There's genuinely so many cool and inventive moments, like some Jedis made a mistake and killed everyone, and that started a chain reaction was a great spark to the conflict, and it was used properly as a twist in the third act, and it's sad that a lot of people think it's a form of gaslighting, which doesn't make sense. I'll reiterate again, some fight scenes have so much depth and actually use the power scale properly. The revelation and some scenes whenever the Sith Lord appears is so damn good, but if only we didn't get to see his face in episode 5, and he doesn't look that menacing. The cinematography isn't that amazing, but thanks to the production design, every environment felt real and you just want to spend more time with it. But that's like mingled with so many shitty ways of telling a story that it made you think that those compliments are bad, even though it's not. But nonetheless, you have to admit that what the Acolyte was trying to convey is at least coherent in a sense that it tells you how someone became truly evil like a Sith Lord, and it all comes from a person so passionate you didn't expect her to be in a position she would be in right now. And I hope I can see the light of day with the second season. Wait, what? No, you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Anyway, thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this poetic rant from an immature, half-witted moron, then leave a like and comment down below for your own thoughts on the show. If you want to support the channel, then feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace.